I want to ask you about another issue which is slowly coming to the fore post-COVID, Puneet, because it's happening everywhere in the field of sports to management. There's a lot more talk about and awareness also about mental health and the problems that people are facing. I think you yourself face something like that in your career, and who better to talk through it from the field of a very high stress kind of a job about this issue.
Well, Dan, you've hit on another very important point, the pandemic, and what we as a global community went through over the last 2 years, are in fact still going through, has really contributed to mental stress and mental health. Um, I went through it, and we didn't talk about it as openly as we do now. Back in the 90s, I had been at Deloitte about 7 or 8 years, and I was being put up for partner, and I decided to step away and take a sabbatical. We call it a sabbatical now, but really a leave of absence, if you will, back in 1994. And I spent 6 months reassessing what I was going to do with my life. I went back to Deloitte and got back on the partner track and became a partner 2 years later in 1996. But again, looking back at my life, that break was central to my mental health and my ability to recharge and go back and contribute back. I would not have been a partner, certainly would not have reached global CEO level at Deloitte if I hadn't taken that break. I would not have met my future wife. I met her during that break, and I believe I certainly would not have met her, and that she's had a profound impact on my life. So that is a tangible example of me taking a break. The last 2 years has impacted all of us, including me. Working through Zoom certainly has its benefits, but not having the ability to interact, to go meet people, has had, and the stress of waking up. I woke up at 4 a.m. to do this interview, waking up at ungodly hours and working late into the night has certainly had an impact. And the first thing that we need to do, that we recognize, is we need to talk about it. We need to acknowledge that mental health is like any other aspect of health, and it needs to be talked about openly. Second, we need to put programs and efforts in place to enable our people to address some of the issues that come with mental stress, whether it is external, pandemic related, or internal, the sabbatical example that I gave you, that a particular individual might be facing. And then design programs so that we can, like we do with physical health, somebody has an ailment, and we design programs to assist them to still contribute in their professional life. We need to design programs so that we can go ahead and address mental health. But this will take ongoing effort. One of the silver linings, the pandemic was very difficult, and I think was a traumatic experience for all of us, but there were some silver linings that came out of the pandemic. One of the silver linings was the fact that we started acknowledging and talking about mental health and putting it at the right level within a corporation. If you don't have mentally healthy, just healthy individuals working for your business, you're not going to get their best. And for us to be able to compete, you started this interview talking about how competitive the Big Four is, and you're absolutely right. It is highly competitive. And my response was that one individual doesn't lead to the outcomes that we have experienced. It takes all of us, the entire team. If my team is not physically and mentally healthy, they're not going to bring their best self to work. So it is, again, the right business strategy to focus on mental health.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.